Hello everyone, this is Dr. T. Naresh Kumar, working as an assistant professor in Annamacha Institute of Technology and Sciences in the Department of Civil Engineering. On behalf of International FDP on Environmental and Sustainability on week 4, I'm giving a brief note on how to reduce the carbon emission. So, in this slide I am included the continuation for the previous weeks and the views links. From this video, you will get the information regarding how to reduce uses of fossil fuels, drive fuel efficient vehicles, support clean energy sources. That means due to fossil fuels only, carbon emissions is increasing. In that, how the fossil fuels reduce, which type of vehicles has to choose, and what are the efficient vehicles which reduce consumption of fossil fuels and which increase the consumptions. And the support clean energy sources is also helpful for us in the vehicles as well as in the residentials also. So here, calculating and offsetting your CO2 emissions contracts, your contribution to climate changes shows why we need cleaner fuel sources and reveals opportunities for reducing your carbon emission from driving, flying and home energy uses. By the human being activities and in everyday life, we emit carbon dioxide by burning fossil fuels in various manners, by driving, flying, driving on roadways, railways, flying on airways, and home energy uses consuming electricity. And for consumption of electricity, again fossil fuels has to burn to produce the electricity. Example, coal. By burning coal, thermal electricity is producing. Example, NTPC, RTPC. So with that, more emissions of carbon is into atmosphere. So by calculating and offsetting your CO2 emissions, that means with the help of CO2 calculator, we can calculate how much of carbon dioxide is emitting by our everyday activities. So here, carbon emission footprint calculations, computations, drive a fuel efficiency vehicle. All vehicles have an estimated miles per gallon rating. Electric cars still have carbon emissions because they are usually charged with electricity created by burning of fossil fuels. However, the MPG is nothing but miles per gallon. MPG equivalents are typically much higher than conventional and hybrid cars. In some situations, electric cars like the Nissan Leaf are essentially free. So just now we discussed in the previous slide. So those vehicles which will running by the fossil fuels, like example, petrol, diesel. So these are coming from the natural resources of petroleum, which is a fossil fuels, which will emit carbon dioxide. And those cars which is running by electric cars, electricity are also charged by the electricity, and that electricity is produced by burning of fossil fuels. Example, coal burning, thermal energy. So this even the electric cars is also emission of carbon dioxide is less, but those vehicles has to charge by the electricity which is burning by the fossil fuels. And every vehicles will be having this MPGs, that is a miles per gallon rating estimated. So it should be fixed when pollutions. Now it is BS4 to 5, 6 is upgraded to reduce the emissions of carbon dioxide. In some situations, electric cars, Nissan Leaf is a vehicle which is essentially free when comparing with the remaining things of carbon emissions. And support clean energy sources. Here, whenever you can advocate for clean alternatives to fossil fuels such as wind, solar, geothermal, and appropriately designed hydroelectric and biomass energy products. So, support clean energy resources. Here it is the alternatives for fossil fuels. So electricity has to the consumption of power, nothing but electricity. Burning of fossil fuels, example petrol, coal, diesel. So for all these things, alternative things for fossil fuels such as wind. So by rotating of windmills, we can produce the electricity. So electricity is produced by burning of fossil fuels as coal, and the same electricity can also produced by Wind through windmills. Solar by using solar panels. Geothermal. So geothermals is nothing but the heat which is emitting from the subsurface of the planet Earth. Example, volcanoes. So not only volcanoes, tropical to subtropical climatic conditions, those which are near to the equatorial. So equatorial places are more humid climatic conditions than the poles. Tropical to subtropical climatic conditions. So those things. Example, desert. Karakum desert. There is a desert on this planet, the Karakum, which will maintain a daytime up to 70 to 80 degrees centigrade temperatures. So those heat which is maintaining in that on that type of deserts, that heat is converting into electricity. So that should be geothermal. So it is a special process, and appropriately designed hydroelectric and biomass energy projects. So hydroelectricity, hydroelectricity is a alternative for fossil fuels. Moreover, this electricity is produced by burning fossil fuels, coal, but hydroelectricity is produced by rotating of turbines, releasing of water. This is hydroelectricity. So with this hydroelectricity, emission of fossil fuels is less. And biomass energy projects like generating energy from the waste. So here in this slide I am included a calculator which is of car travels. So those vehicle which is running with the gases, CNC, composite natural gases, of miles driven 100 kilometers, average MPG miles per gallon is 0.01. If it is emitting of 0.001 of MPG, CO2 terms is around 879.82 by a vehicle. So like this from the Google also we will get this calculator. With this we can calculate the car travel with different fuels like gas, diesel, air travels calculations, home calculations, totally overall in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year, how much we are emitting of carbon dioxide. With this calculator we can calculate. And here source of average Massachusetts residents carbon emissions. Moreover, so how carbon emissions is emitting from the residents should be how we move, energy we use, stuff we eat, stuff we buy. So from the residentials itself as a emission of CO2, how we move. So whether we are moving by roadways, railways, waterways, airways. Example, roadways. So a family consisting 4 to 5 persons, and every person will having individual vehicle. So how we move, those 5 family consisting 5 people, 5 vehicles will emitting of more carbon dioxide, and the family consisting 5 persons is traveling in a single vehicle will reduce the consumptions. Like this, how we move is 35%. Together or individually using vehicles. Energy we use. So which type of energy we are using, whether it is produced by from the burning of fossil fuels, or wind, or solar, hydroelectricity, or biomass. Based on these things is also 29% of emissions will be dependent. Stuff we eat, that means how we are cooking, whether we are cooking those things, consumables, by using microwaves or gas stove or biomass gas or methane gas, different parameters. With this also 13% of carbon is emissions. And stuff we buy, what are the things we are purchasing, depending on these things is also emission of carbon into atmosphere will be dependent. Thank you.